How y'all doing, good people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Be careful down in the comment section of the videos. A lot of spam, a lot of scammers. I will never ask you to contact me by WhatsApp or Telegram. I also do not invest money for my subscribers, so please be careful. Don't get yourself scammed. If you guys want to rock with me when I'm not on YouTube, do me a big favor. Get down in that description box and click on that Instagram link. Richard Fame Millionaire Mentor Instagram link. Give me a follow and then send me a DM and letting me know that you rock with me so that I can personally thank you. Trying to get that Instagram page up and popping. Right now we got about, I think we got about 3,200 followers, but my old page, my old Instagram page, Richard Fame 28, had 90,000 followers. And, you know, Instagram shut it down for whatever reason. So I had to create a new one. So I'm asking you guys to do me a big favor and check out my Instagram page, Richard Fame Millionaire Mentor. Really easy to get to it. It's just go down to the description box. About halfway down in the description box, you'll see the Instagram link. Click on that link and then check it out. I got some good stuff on there that I'm posting about my personal life, and I'm also, you know, I'm a big financial guy, so I'm gonna post a lot of stuff about getting to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And you know, we're gonna talk about this concept today of, listen, man, if you don't do something and do something now, there's a chance you can work for the rest of your life. I'm just telling you, I'm gonna go over some information here with you where you got some financial gurus out here saying that if you don't have a certain amount of money and assets, you can't retire. You can't stop working. That means you're gonna work for the rest of your life. That's what some of these folks are saying, and we're gonna talk about it though. Because some of the things that they're saying, I agree with. Some of the things they're saying, I don't agree with. But we're gonna talk about it. The key though is you better have a plan, and you better have a plan right now. Because for some of us, we're getting to the golden years. Person like me, I'm 56 years old. I'm right around the corner from the golden years. So I better have a plan in place to get me there. So we're gonna talk about that today in this Saturday morning live stream. We're gonna also talk about the stock market, because you know that's right now is my two, you know, the big three: paper assets, real estate for income, businesses. Two of the big three I'm using every single day to build wealth, right? So we're gonna talk about the stock market, which is the number one way I'm building wealth, is through the stock market, through paper assets. We're gonna talk a little bit about what happened this past week. It was incredible. And if you were invested, you increased your net worth. If you're not invested, you're missing out on opportunity, man, to get to your pot of gold at in the rainbow. So we're gonna talk about that as well. But before we dive into the meat and potatoes, y'all know I gotta take care of a little bit of business. Number one thing I gotta take care of is my website, my brand new website, Richard Fame Millionaire Mentor website. Second link down in the description box. Over 100,000 of you guys have already visited the website, so thank you. That's number one. I wanna thank you for visiting my website. Richard Fame, why do you got a website? Well, y'all asked for it. My community on YouTube asked for it. Richard, you need to have a website where we can go grab some digital products and, you know, be able to help ourselves get to our financial freedom. So that's what I did. I created a website. I told y'all last year, 23, I was working on creating a website that you guys asked for. So my 700,000 YouTube subscribers asked for it. So I created it. I'm asking you guys to go check it out. Over 100,000 of you have already been there. So thank you. Many of you have made an investment in yourself and purchased some of the digital products that I've handpicked. Many of you have. So thank you for that as well, right? And hopefully you're using those digital products to get yourself to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. The next thing I'm asking you to do when you go to the website is consider joining the mentorship club. There's a little yellow button you'll see when you get in there. It'll say mentorship. Click on that yellow button and take yourself over to the Discord and sign up for the mentorship club. Now, it's a paid mentorship club. Why is it paid, Richard? Because the other information that I provide is free. That's on YouTube. And if that's enough information for you, then don't go to the mentorship club. Don't sign up. It's pretty simple, right? Pretty simple. If what I'm doing on YouTube is enough for you, you're good to go. Don't go to the website. Don't click on nothing. Just watch the YouTube videos and execute. That's all you got to do. But there are people out there that need more. They need more interaction with me, more than what they get on the YouTube channel. And that's who I'm talking to now. The people that need more interaction with me. Then go to the website, get yourself some digital products, and then sign up for the mentorship, the paid mentorship group. What do we do over in the mentorship group? Well, I'm communicating and hanging out with these folks every day. Plus, we're doing 90-minute private live streams every single week in the mentorship club where I'm doing a Q&A. I don't do Q&As anymore on YouTube. Remember on Sundays, I used to do the little Q&As. I don't do that no more. That's done. All I do on YouTube right now is just your straight videos and your straight live streams. That's it. I don't take no Q&As at all because that's saved for the mentorship club. So if the Q&As are something that you like, if you want a little bit more intimate relationship with me from a financial standpoint, and you just need to be able to ask questions and be around other like-minded people, this group is for you. The mentorship group is for you. If you want to be around other like-minded people I'm the mentor, then join the mentorship club, right? All you got to do is get down to the description box, click on that second link, which is the website link, go to the website, grab them digital products, and then sign up for the paid mentorship club. And join the group, man. We have a great time over there. I was in the Discord this morning, seeing in the community chat. We got a couple community chats going. They're live. They're good. People are encouraging one another. I'm asking people every day what you're buying, what you put in the financial shopping cart. People are telling me what they're buying. It's wonderful. I love it. I love seeing that camaraderie. I love seeing that like-mindedness where you got a group of people. And right now we probably got about 300 people, 350 people. That's in the mentorship group, about 350. And you see these people, man, they're just interacting with one another. I just love that. I love it. I love it because that's like-mindedness. And I tell you guys that all the time. If you're going to build wealth, you got to get around people who think like you. You got to get around people who are headed in the same direction as you. That's really what the mentorship is about. It ain't just about me. It's about you getting around a group of people who got the same attitude about building wealth. And they're there to encourage, y'all, there to encourage each other. I'm just there to help encourage, but really the whole glue that keeps this thing stuck together is the people, not just me. It's the people in there who have a vested interest in seeing you be successful. So, hey man, give it a shot. Consider it. I think it's definitely worth your while. Now, the last thing I want to cover is Moomoo. And here's the thing, guys. Moomoo is a self-directed brokerage app. And when you sign up for that self-directed brokerage app, when you sign up for your Moomoo account, they're going to give you 10 free fractional shares of the Magnificent Seven stocks. Now, to qualify for those 10 free fractional shares, you do have to deposit $100 in your Moomoo account. But then you take that $100 and you do what with it? You can start investing in assets, paper assets. You can continue buying the Magnificent Seven stocks in a fractional share format, or you can buy ETFs in a fractional share format, or you can buy whatever stocks, individual stocks or ETFs that you like. The key though is you got to get yourself started. That's the first link down in the description box. Click on that Moomoo link. Open up your new Moomoo account today. Put yourself in a position where you're ready to make moves. Once we get into this, guys, I'm telling you, man, you're going to work for the rest of your life if you don't do something right now to change your outcome. I'm going to tell you right now, this information I'm getting ready to go through, the outcome for most Americans is not good when it comes to their financial freedom. Most Americans will work the rest of their life. And I'm just giving it to you straight. Most Americans are going to work for somebody until they get into their 60s and their 70s. And some Americans are going to even be working in their 80s. Why? They just haven't planned properly, guys. If you don't plan properly for what's coming, you're going to be working. Like I said, you got a prominent financial guru out here that's making some bold statements about the type of net worth you need in order to retire. And it ain't just some, oh yeah, you need $500,000. It's way higher than that. I'm just saying, man, so get yourself in a position where you can start taking your earnings right now and putting them in something to multiply them. And that Moomoo app can help you do that. That's my self-directed brokerage app that I use in order to build my wealth over the next 10 years, to multiply my wealth over the next 10 years. I'm using the Moomoo app. And again, I don't work for Moomoo. I don't own Moomoo. I'm just a guy that uses Moomoo, and I like the app. And I have an affiliate partnership or affiliate arrangement. Not even a partnership, just an arrangement. It's a referral arrangement. That's all it is. But I use the app. I would never ask you guys to use something that I don't use. So if you're interested in the Moomoo offer where you're going to get the 10 free fractional shares of the Magnificent Seven stocks, then get down to the description box, click on that Moomoo link, go open up that Moomoo account today. Go get that free stock. Go get that free money. Now let's dive into these meat and potatoes for today. And here's the thing, guys. I keep telling y'all, and I've had this conversation with y'all throughout this past week about the middle class and the lower middle class and how there won't be a middle class in 20 years. I've been having this conversation all week with you. We've been talking about the Fed, right? We've been talking about the CPI inflation report for April. We've been talking about this data that the Federal Reserve is looking for in order to justify decreasing short-term interest rates. We also talked about one of your major, matter of fact, your number one bank in the country, JP Morgan Chase, where their CEO has come on record and said, this thing ain't right. Something ain't adding up. We're not close to being where we need to be. He's talking to the American people. So I've had this conversation all week with you guys, and this is I'm gonna continue that conversation on the middle class, because that's where the middle class and the lower middle class, when it comes to income, because that's where most of us, that's where we reside. We reside in this middle class income. We reside in this lower middle class income. And if we don't do something with those incomes, if we don't figure out a way to increase these incomes, if we don't figure out a way to keep our expenses low and then take the difference and invest it over a period of time, we're going to work for the rest of our life. We're going to work for the rest of our life. So this conversation that we're having about the middle class is important, because that's where most of us reside. I call the 99 percenters, I call them the middle class and the lower middle class income earners. It ain't got nothing to do with what color you are. It ain't got nothing to do if you're a man or a woman. It ain't got nothing to do with that. What it has everything to do with is your income. and then what you do with that income. That's what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about your income. I'm talking about your income, and what you do with that income will determine if you work for somebody for the rest of your life. Because Social Security ain't gonna get it, guys. It won't be enough. Social Security won't be enough. Most of us won't even get $2,000 a month in Social Security. Most of us won't. So how you gonna live? You gotta work. You're gonna have to work if you don't have any assets, and that's what we're gonna talk about. Welcome to the club. Here's the headline. Welcome to the club. You're middle class, but still counting your pennies. That's the headline of the article we're getting ready to discuss. Who in the world want to be associated with just counting pennies? Who want to be associated with counting pennies? I don't want to worry about no pennies. When I walk down the street and see a penny, I don't even pick it up. I mean, come on now. I don't want to spend the rest of my life worried about pennies. I don't want to spend the rest of my life walking down the street picking up pennies. But if we don't plan, if we don't execute, we will. Here we go. Here we go. Let's dive into this. The American dream goes something like this. You pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You get a solid job with benefits. You buy a house. You start a family. And coast comfortably toward retirement in the country's robust middle class. If that ain't perfectly describe the American dream, I don't know what will. If that doesn't perfectly describe the American dream, I don't know what will. But I'm telling you something, guys. That's not where you want to be, right? But let's read that one more time. The American dream goes something like this. You pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You get a solid job with benefits. You buy a house, start a family, and coast comfortably towards retirement in the country's robust middle class. Now, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, that was true. That's what you did. See, in my grandparents' era, that's what they did. You just go to work, put in your 20 years, your 25 years, your 30 years, and then you get a pension from some company. Some company gives you a pension. Hey, Richard, thank you for your 30 years. Here's this pension. Here's a little Social Security. Plus, if I did everything right, I had a little savings. So I had the Social Security a little bit, I had the pension a little bit, and I had the savings. I owned the house free and clear, didn't have no debt, and I just lived the rest of my life in somewhat comfort. The problem is when you fast forward to 2024, that don't exist anymore. There ain't no pensions. Companies ain't giving you no pension no more. Now, if you work for the government or some municipality, if you're a fireman or a police officer or a school teacher, you still get a pension. But the most of us, these companies that we work for, they're not offering pensions anymore. They put that back on us and said, hey, you invest in this 401k, this 403b, this Roth IRA, that's on you. If you don't invest in none of this stuff, you're going to be stuck like Chuck when you get to retirement because we ain't giving you a penny. That's what it is today. So this notion of you're going to coast into retirement, oh no, ain't no coasting. You're not going to coast into retirement and just live out, no, ain't no more coasting. Not in 2024, it's not. You better plan and get yourself ready to go because ain't nobody giving you nothing other than that little bit of Social Security you're going to get. That's it. It's a different world, guys. It's a different world from where our parents and grandparents grew up. It's a different world. In 2024, it's a different financial world we live in. While many might think middle income Americans would be living this dream, they're not. Had to tell you. While many might think middle income Americans would be living this dream, they're not. Instead, they're living more like their lower income peers, struggling to make ends meet and worried about losing it all. See, that's today's world. I told you that, right? Y'all thought I was joking. No. That's today's world. See, that world I described 50 years ago, that don't exist no more. In today's world, that's what you're living like. If you don't plan, if you don't prepare, if you don't execute, this is what you're looking forward to, right? This is what you're looking for or looking forward to. While many might think middle income Americans would be living this dream, they're not. Instead, they're living more like their lower income peers, struggling to make ends meet and worried about losing it all. New research from some retailer, e-commerce analyst at business intelligence company Morning Consult found that middle income consumers' behavior is more similar to their lower income counterparts than more affluent Americans. So you got affluent Americans up here that actually are living that dream. That's basically what they're telling you. So you got the affluent consumers, and all that means is when you're an affluent consumer, that means you have assets. That means you have multiple streams of income. You're recession proof. That's affluent. You don't have to worry about, you don't go to bed at night worrying about when I get up in the morning and try to turn the light switch on, my lights won't come on. See, affluent folks ain't worried about that. Affluent folks ain't worried about, goodness gracious, how am I going to pay for this $200 this week to get this gas so I can get to and from work? They ain't worried about that. Not the affluent folks. See, the affluent folks ain't worried about, oh my goodness, in Florida right now, we got this heat wave. Boy, if this little raggedy air conditioner go out, I'm stuck like Chuck because I got no money to get it fixed. See, affluent folks ain't worried about that. Middle class folks and lower middle class folks, income-wise, that's what we worry about. And that's what they're telling you here. As shoppers are still battling heightened prices and inflationary pressures, middle income consumer sentiment tracks much closer to lower income. Rather than mirroring the top bracket, which is the affluent, they're mirroring the lower bracket, which is the lower income folk. See, back in the old days, 50 years ago, the middle class would mirror the affluent, be one step under the affluent. That was back in the day. Now, they're one notch above the lower income folk. So now they're saying they mirror the lower income folk when it comes to anxiety and financial pressure on them. Because as we go further down the road, guys, like I've been telling y'all, we get further and further from the affluent. We're getting 20 years from now, the affluent going to be up here. We're going to be way down here. There won't be a middle class. There will be affluent and lower. Affluent and lower, higher and lower. It won't be a middle. And I know some of y'all disagree with me on that, and that's okay. It's just my opinion. It's my channel, on my YouTube channel, so I get to give my opinion. If you don't agree with it, that's okay. I'm just giving you my opinion so that whoever hears my voice and says, whoa, that sounds like me, I can help them get out of this. But if you feel like, hey, this ain't me, I don't believe this guy, I'm okay with that, right? I'm okay with that. So let's keep moving. Consumer behavior among Americans making under $50,000. Those making between 50 and 100 deemed middle income, and those making over 100, right? While middle income consumers might prioritize the same financial goals or beliefs as their higher earning counterparts, like believing that planning for the future is important, they're spending and living a lot more like their lower income. Let's read that one more time. So this expert analyzed consumer behavior among Americans making under 50,000. Those making between 50 and 100, right? So they looked at two of them. They looked at under 50 and then they looked at 50 to 100. While Morning Consult deems middle income and those making over 100. So you got 50 under, 50 to 100, and then you got over 100. While middle income consumers might prioritize the same financial goals or beliefs as their higher earning counterparts. So what they're saying here is the middle class have aspirations of being like the 1%. Assets, multiple streams. We think about it. We'd like to be there, right? We want to be there. But here's the truth though about the whole thing. While middle income consumers might prioritize the same financial goals or beliefs as their higher earning counterparts, like believing that planning for the future is important, they're spending and living like the lower income. Let me bring this together for you. So middle income folks, see, we're stuck between the affluent, you got the middle, and then you got the lower. You got the higher, middle, lower, high, middle, low. And again, guys, this is about income. This is not about someone's race. This is not about how old. It's about income. That's all it's about, right? It's about income. So you got these people up here with high income, middle income, low income. So the middle income folks, when they're thinking, they'd like to think like, and they want to be like the higher income folks. They'd like the multiple streams of income. They'd like to not have to worry about credit card debt. They'd like to. But all of that is just talk. But when the rubber meets the road, really middle class folks are really doing and mimicking the lower income folks. That's what they're doing. See, middle income folks, we talk about building wealth like the 1%, but in actuality, what we do is we spend and do all the things that don't build wealth. That's basically what they're saying. So we talk a good game, but we have no execution. And I tell you guys that every day. Every single day we talk about this. We talk about all this talk we do. And you know where I see it a lot is in the comment section of these videos. A bunch of talking. But none of those people are executing nothing. None of them. So all I'm telling you is, guys, we got to be careful of talking a good game, but yet and still we don't do anything to actions. We have no actions. We have no execution. See, it takes execution to get to wealth, not a bunch of talking. Talking a good game ain't gonna get you to wealth. What's gonna get you to wealth is having a good, solid financial plan that you execute every day. That gets you to wealth. Not all this lip service. That don't get you anything. Not a lot of thinking, not a lot of reading. It doesn't. It doesn't do it for us at all, guys. They're spending and living a lot like their lower income, and the gap with the affluent is getting wider. Didn't I just tell you all that? In 20 years, y'all think I just be saying this. In 20 years, there won't be a middle class. They're backing this up right here. They're backing that up right here. While middle income consumers might prioritize the same financial goals or beliefs as the higher income earners, like believing that they are planning for the future is important, because I talk to people all the time and they will say to me, Richard, yeah, we know, I got to get going. I know I need to be planning for the future. I need to be living on less than what I make. I need to have a plan. I need to stay out of consumer debt. I need to be saving and invest. Yes, I know that, Richard. But we don't transition that into execution is what they're saying. We know that, but we just don't transition into execution. What we typically end up doing, we start spending and living a lot more like the lower income. And the gap with the affluent is getting wider. It's getting wider, guys. I keep telling y'all, it's getting wider, right? For instance, according to this expert, middle income earners report that they'd be willing to pay more for a higher quality product, but that's not what's happening. In reality, middle and lower income shoppers are nearly identical in reporting that they tend towards the less expensive option when buying something. Indeed, while many Americans might be plugging away at work, that doesn't mean they're staying afloat. An increasing share of American adults, around 29%, are considered Alice. Y'all gonna like this. An increasing share of American adults, around 29%, are considered Alice. Asset limited, income constrained, but employed. That's Alice. Let me give y'all that one more time because I thought that was good. That's some good stuff right here. This is some good stuff. An increasing share of American adults, around 29%, are considered Alice, ALICE. And that stands for asset limited. That means you got no assets. Income restrained, you don't make enough income, but you're employed. That's what Alice means. You have no assets, your income is not where it should be, but you're employed. That's Alice. And I think that sums it up perfectly. While they're earning consistent paychecks, they're struggling to make ends meet, but still make too much to receive assistance. That's the middle class for you in 2024. Alice. That's the acronym they're using for the middle class right now. Asset limited, income constrained, but employed. It all speaks to the ever-moving goalposts of what it takes to achieve middle-class lifestyle in America. As the hallmarks of that dream become more out of reach, middle-income earners don't feel like they've made it. Take Amanda, a millennial in Texas. She's been able to buy a home, have her student loans forgiven, and make over $100,000 annually. This position should, by many measures, make her feel secure. Not bad for Amanda. That ain't bad for Amanda, right? She bought a house, got all the student loans forgiven, and she makes over $100,000 a year, but still, she don't feel like she's there yet. I know that I'm doing a lot better than other people my age, Amanda says, but there's still a lot of anxiety that if there's another pandemic, if anything crazy happens, if we lose our job, how do we pay the bills? Hello. I'm telling you guys, this is Americans telling you, this lady making $100,000 a year. This lady own her own home. This lady don't even got all the student loan debt wiped out. And she's still having anxiety. And what is she thinking about? Oh my God, if we have another pandemic. Oh my God, if they fire me. What in the world will we do to pay the bills? And the reason she's having that anxiety, guys, is because she don't have any assets. Now, a lot of y'all will say, well, golly, the house an asset. Yeah, it's a dead asset. Don't produce no income. Remember, assets produce income. She don't have any assets right now that produce income. The only thing producing income in her household is her going to work, trading time for money. If she can't trade that time, ain't gonna get no money. You better have some assets. You better start a game plan today to get these assets up. That's why I keep telling you every day, Moomoo, get down in the description box, open that Moomoo account, get them 10 free fractional shares of the Magnificent Seven, start putting your $100 in there, put your $200 in there. Let's start buying these assets. I'm giving you guys this information every day about the stock market and what I'm doing and how I'm building my wealth. If I'm a person that's brand new and I don't understand none of it, but I trust this guy I'm listening to on YouTube, I'm following his plan. That's all I'm doing. Because at some point I got to take a risk. Now, I can sit back and, oh my God, I don't want to give Moomoo my social security number. Why do I got to give Moomoo my social security number? Why wouldn't you give it to him? You give it to Vanguard when you open an account there. You're going to give it to Charles Schwab when you open a brokerage account there. You're going to give it to Bank of America when you open an account there. You're going to give it to whoever you open a brokerage account with. You're giving them your social security number, guys. That's standard practice. But see, we get into this, I don't want to get, then don't. Stay broke. It's your choice. Listen, man, no one's going to lose any sleep if you decide you don't want to open a Moomoo account and get to your wealth. No one's going to lose any sleep. People ain't got time to worry about you, man. They got to worry about their own stuff. So all I'm telling you is get out your own way. Get yourself on a pathway to freedom. I don't care if you don't know a lot about the stock market. Neither do I. I don't make that as an excuse for me not to buy every day that the market's open. I don't make no excuses. I just buy. See, my back is against the wall. I got to take a risk. I can't afford to sit back and want to be risk-free. I'm going to try to sit back and be risk-free. I'm going to be broke for the rest of my life. Ain't nothing in this world risk-free. Everything we do, I get up in the morning and go outside to take my walk. You think that ain't taking a risk? That's a risk right there in itself. What am I do? Stay shut up in my house and never go out? Guys, you got to get your attitude right with this financial thing. It's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. You got Amanda out of Texas. She's a millennial. She's making $100,000 a year. She has no student loan debt. She owns her own home, but she's still terrified. She's terrified. And why is she terrified? Because her only source of income is trading time for money. That's it. See, we're all going to continue to be terrified if the person or company that controls our financial destiny, we're going to always be terrified. Because someone else is controlling our financial destiny. Right now, Amanda's terrified because someone else controls her financial destiny. That would be whoever employs her. Wherever you make your income, guys, that's who controls your financial destiny. Wherever you get it from. Personally, I'm going to get mine from my assets. I'm not going to get it from Social Security. I'm not going to get it from a job. I'm going to get it from my assets. I would ask you to do the same before it's too late. I know that I'm doing a lot better than other people my age, but there's still a lot of anxiety that if there's another pandemic, if anything crazy happens, if we lose our jobs, how do we pay the bills? It's a good question. That's a good question. That's a great question. Check this out right here. The ranks of middle income earners have been shrinking. I've been telling y'all that. Some people agree, some people disagree. The ranks of the middle income earners have been shrinking, according to Pew Research Center. Go research Pew on the $10 trillion research lab. A senior researcher at the Pew Research Center told BI, Business Insider, that the share of people living in the middle income household earning somewhere between 2/3 and double the median income for a family of their size, per Pew's definition, has dropped over the last 5 decades, hitting 50% in 2010 and down from around 60% in 1970. Didn't I tell y'all that earlier? I told you 50 years ago, man, things were different. Today, It's a lot different. I keep telling y'all the middle class is shrinking. You're going to have the haves and the have-nots in 20 years. The question is which category are you going to fall in? That's up to you. Don't blame it on America. Don't blame it on the president. Don't blame it on Congress. Don't blame it on inflation. Don't blame it on the Fed. No, you have control over that. Question is, what are you going to do about it? It's your choice. I'm telling you what's happening. I'm telling you what's happening. That's held true since then, according to researcher with a slightly higher share of that missing 10% moving into the upper income tier. So about 10% of those folks moved up to the upper. We now have more inequality or more polarization, with more people living either at the upper income tier or the lower income tier, and fewer in the middle. I just told y'all that. I keep telling y'all think some people be, no, I'm telling you guys, 20 years, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna have upper income and lower income. There ain't gonna be no middle. You better choose which side you're gonna get on. There ain't gonna be no middle. I'm telling you, we have more inequality, more polarization, with people living either the upper income tier or the lower income tier, and fewer in the middle. So moving to the extremes. Many who have moved into the high income category, however, suffer from money dysphoria. A solid chunk of millionaires consider themselves middle class, despite accounting for just over 12% of American families. While they can certainly afford middle class markers like home ownership, education, and family more than their lower income peers, they might also be reluctant to leave the identity of being middle class behind. It's more a club that most Americans want to be part of, regardless of their actual circumstances. And there's good reason. The American middle class, a cultural history, told Business Insider, the myth of the middle class and the belief that you can work your way up in a fundamentally democratic way is very American. Just telling you guys, it is getting worse. Question is, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? What's your game plan? Somebody tell me, what's your game plan? Y'all are awfully quiet today. Y'all are awfully quiet today. What's your game plan? What are you executing right now? Who bought assets this past week? Who got into the market and got assets and bought assets consistently to build their wealth? Who's doing that? I don't know, guys. Pretty quiet. Pretty quiet. The whole point of this is to point out to you the pitfalls. I'm trying to tell you what's coming. I'm trying to give you what's coming based on my opinion and my research. I've seen this. I've seen how this thing has changed over the last 20 years. Since I was 26 years old, I'm 56 now. For 30 years, I've seen this thing change right before my eyes. Thank God. I wasn't just a talker. I was a doer. I was an executor. And I continue to execute even at 56. Every day I'm executing to stay ahead of this thing. You should be doing the same thing. So here's the deal. One of the most popular financial gurus in America. Here's what she's saying. Here's what she's saying. Here's the headline. 2 million is nothing. Susie Orman warns, don't retire if you don't have at least 5 million or 10 million saved. This is what Susie Orman is saying, one of America's pioneer financial gurus. I can remember when I was in my 20s, in my early 30s, staying up at night watching the Susie Orman show. when I was just getting started building this wealth, when I was just starting to get rolling, I would stay up. And I believe it used to be on a Saturday night or something. I would stay up. And it didn't come on early. I think it came on like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, something like that. And I would watch the Susie Orman show, and I was just so fascinated by this lady who had all this financial knowledge. And I would just soak it up, just laying in bed with the TV on, soaking up this information from Susie Orman. One of the pioneers, mad respect for her, right? Now she's coming out saying, 2 million is nothing. You need 5 or 10. Now I disagree with that. Even though I respect Susie Orman tremendously, I disagree with that, right? Y'all always know what I tell you on this channel is you get to determine what wealth is. Not me, not Susie Orman, not some other guru. You get to determine that. You get to determine what wealth is to you. I don't believe you need 5 million. I don't believe you need 10. But it doesn't matter what I believe. It doesn't matter what Susie believes. It's what you believe. But let's hear her out. On the Afford Anything podcast, Susie Orman delivered a pointed critique on the notion of retiring early with $2 million portfolio. She was direct in her advice, emphasizing the inefficiency of such an amount for early retirement. Let's just say retirement. I don't know what this early retirement stuff is. Just say retirement, right? It's inefficiency of such an amount for retirement. $2 million is nothing, Orman declared. It's nothing. It's pennies in today's world, to tell you the truth. Now, this is coming from Susie Orman, guys. Well respected in the financial world. Well respected. I believe her show was on CNBC, if I'm not mistaken, back in the day. But well respected. Orman expanded on the potential financial dangers that could deplete such savings quickly. If you have 20 million, 40 million, 50 million, 100 million, be like me, okay? If you have that kind of money and you want to retire, fine, she explained, contrasting this with the risks faced by those with less substantial sums. But if you only have a few $100,000 or a million or two, I'm here to tell you, if a catastrophic happens, what are you going to do? You are going to burn up alive. This is coming from Susie Orman, guys. These are some strong words from Susie. I mean, strong. These are some strong words from a woman that I got mad respect for. But I get her point, though. I get her point. Addressing the common retirement strategy of withdrawing 4% annually, Orman was skeptical. I think that in the long run, $80,000, especially after taxes, and as you get older, is not going to be enough. You may think it's going to be enough, but it's just not, she stated firmly. So think about your situation right now. Throw out the 2 million, throw out the 10 million, throw out the whatever she said. Throw that out the window. Just based on what she just said about as you get older, you need more stuff. Maybe more medical, maybe assisted living, maybe whatever. It gets more expensive. Are you prepared for that? Do you have enough assets to be able to take care of you? Do you have enough assets that generate enough income in the event you can't do anything other than just try to survive? That's basically what she's saying. See, I throw out the 10 million, the 5 million. What I ask myself is Richard, do you have enough in assets right now so that you're comfortable? If you live to 90, if the Lord blessed you and kept you on this earth to the age of 90, what you have right now, would it sustain you? And I had to say no. So that's where I'm back on this journey for another 10 years trying to double the net worth. Even a guy like me but I got some means here. I got some net worth here. I'm even still panicking a little bit because I don't know what age the good Lord gonna take me to glory. I don't know. But if he chooses to leave me here till 90, I gotta still take care of myself. I'm 56. I keep telling y'all, you plan, you gotta plan. You prepare for the worst, but you expect, right? You prepare for the worst, but you expect the best. So all I'm telling you is the reason I'm even bringing this to you guys with this Susie Orman thing is because some of the stuff she's saying in here is true. All of it is probably true according to her. I disagree with that you need 5 million and 10 million, all that stuff. Now, if that's what you want, go get it. I disagree with that part. But I do agree with, as you get older, your expenses may go up. And you got to be prepared for that. So right now, today, you should be thinking to yourself, how much do I need in assets to generate the amount of income that I'm going to need? So I'm saying to myself, hey, man, I need $20,000 a month in income. So if I need $20,000 a month in income, rule of 200 says this, Richard, if you need $20,000 a month in income, you need to times that by 200. That's the rule of 200. Times it by 200. And what does that give me? $4 million. At a 6% rate of return, that'll generate $240,000 a year in income, pre-tax. Divided by 12, there's my $20,000 a month. So if I need $20,000 a month in my golden years, Richard Fain has to get his assets up to about $4 million. I got to have about $4 million in assets. Assets that actually generate income, not $4 million in some piece of real estate that I own that don't produce no income. Not those assets. I need $4 million in assets that actually generate income to create $20,000 a month in passive income. That's what Susie's talking about here. That's basically what she's talking about. You need to figure out the dollar amount you're going to need in retirement to live. And then take that monthly dollar amount and times it by 200. And it will tell you what your assets need to be to generate that monthly dollar amount. For me, I'm thinking 20 grand. Well, golly, Richard, that seems like a lot. Yeah, it probably is, but I want to shoot higher because I don't know how long I'm going to live. I don't want to be 80 years old and be like, oh, God, get back on YouTube. Ran out of money. Let me get on YouTube. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be in Publix grocery store bagging, and I'm not knocking people that do that. I'm just telling you that's not the life I want. I have a right to not want that life. I don't want to be in the grocery store bagging groceries at 75 years old. Now, if you want to do that, go right ahead. Nothing wrong with it. Just not the lifestyle I want to live. But guess what? If I don't plan for the lifestyle that I want to live, I am going to be in that grocery store bagging groceries. I don't have no other choice. So I'm going to be able to take care of myself. I'm just being 100% with you guys. Just keeping it 100. Just keeping it 100. Addressing the common retirement strategy of withdrawing 4% annually. See, that's a common thing that a lot of people, they go by that investment strategy where I'm going to take 4% from my portfolio every year. And that'll sustain me for the rest of my life. And it may, it may not, I don't know. But you need to figure out what type of lifestyle you want to lead, and then how much money is it going to cost for you to lead that lifestyle. For me, I want to have about $20,000 a month coming in. I think that'll take care of my lifestyle, and it will also take care of me if I do live to 90. So I need at least 4 to 5 million in assets. That's why I'm out here every single day busting my tail to double the net worth so I can get there in 10 years. So by the time I'm 65, 64, I got the 5 million in net worth and I'm Gucci. I can just do whatever I want to do for the rest of my life. That's why I'm out here doing what I do every single day. Guys, you got to get serious about this thing. You got to get serious about it. Orman was skeptical. I think that in the long run, $80,000 a year, especially after taxes, as you get older, is not enough. Now, 50 years ago, that would have been, you'd have been royalty. If you were making $80,000 a year 50, 60 years ago in retirement, that's royalty. But not today. Not today. Especially after taxes, as you get older, is not going to be enough. You may think it's going to be enough, but it's just not, she said. She stated firmly. Her advice underscores the importance of ample financial cushioning. See, that's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get cushion. Could I live off $10,000 a month? Sure. If I were forced to live off $5,000 a month, could I do it? Sure. I would just sell everything. That's all. I just reduce my expenses. I'd sell all the houses. I'd sell all the cars. I'd sell everything and just get me a little apartment, a couple $1,000s a month rent. And now I got $3,000 to do my thing. I'd create me a couple little side hustles, and that'd be my lifestyle. But I don't want that to be my lifestyle. So I'm doing something now to make sure that don't happen. And that's all I'm trying to get y'all to think about, guys. If you don't do something to make sure that doesn't happen to you, it will. Telling you, we can sit up here all we want to and act like it ain't, but it is. I'm giving you the proof. So you can't turn around and say, oh, nobody never told me. Yes, someone did. That's why I'm not on here every day with rose-colored glasses. Oh, it's going to be wonderful, guys. Guess what, guys? You got to go find you another channel for that. This channel, you don't get that on this channel. You don't get the truth. Her advice underscores the importance of ample financial cushioning, particularly if unexpected costs arise, such as health care or family support needs. Think about it logically, Orman urged, highlighting potential expenses that could easily top hundreds of thousands annually. When asked if $3 million was enough, Orman firmly stated it was not. If you don't have at least 5, 10, don't retire. Orman's assertion that individuals need at least 5 million to retire stirred a mix of reactions, with some viewing it as excessively cautious, while others validate her perspective. And of course, you knew Susie was gonna get that. Some people would agree, some people won't, and that's okay. That's healthy debate, right? Hey, that's healthy debate. That's healthy. I ain't got a problem with nothing Susie said, right? I don't have a problem with nothing new Susie said. Personally, myself, I already told y'all my goal. I want to have at least 4 to 5 million. That's my goal. That's my goal. I'm not ashamed to say that. That's my goal. I want to have that much in the coffers. The question is, what do you want to have? I know what my pathway is. I know exactly what my net worth needs to be, and I know exactly how much passive income it's going to create, and I know exactly the lifestyle that I'm going to live. What about you? And then most importantly for me, I know how to execute and get there. I'm not afraid. I'm not having to worry about I need to bog myself down with all this information. I need to know more. That's just an excuse to not do anything. That's right, I said it. It's just an excuse not to do anything. Anytime I hear people with this whole concept of, I need more, and I'm just not comfortable, I need more, they don't want to do nothing. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. You just get out there and do it. When I was trying to, 26 years old, trying to change the financial trajectory of my life, I knew nothing. But you think I sat there till 30 years old complaining about I know nothing? No, I just got to doing it. I said, okay, if I make mistakes, that's okay. I'll learn from those mistakes and I'll be better for it. I'll learn on the way. I'm not going to learn, and then try to get going. No, I'm going to learn on the way. I'm going to learn on the journey. So whatever I don't know, I'll pick it up along the way. But right now, I got to start putting my money in assets that build wealth. And that's what I'm going to tell you. Stop worrying about knowing everything. What you start doing is executing. Get yourself down in that description box. Click on that Moomoo link. Open up a new Moomoo account today. Get yourself 10 free fractional shares of the Magnificent 7 stocks. That's where it begins. That's where your life changes, right there. And then all you got to do is continue putting money in that account and continue buying. And do that for the next 10 years. Do that for the next 20 years. And you'll be on your way to building wealth. And along that journey, you're going to learn more. Because why? Your filter system is going to force you to learn more, because your filter system, it's going to be going down a pathway, a new behavior, a new financial behavior, right? As you start seeing that money work for you and grow, it's going to motivate you to want to do more. But if you sit around and talk about you don't know anything and that's all you want to talk about, then no, you're never going to get there. We got to become more of doers, not talkers. Be more of a doer, not a talker. Don't talk yourself out of getting yourself to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Just get out there and do it. I've given you the blueprint to do it. Get you a brokerage account, preferably the Moomoo brokerage account. But if you don't want to use Moomoo, don't. Find another one. But you better start getting yourself some assets. Utilize my website. Get you some digital products to help with the mindset, to help with the process. Get over to the website. Grab some digital products. Make an investment in you. That's the biggest investment you'll ever make, is an investment in you. We got to stop sitting around here being victims. We're not victims. We're in the greatest country in the world. If I'm a victim, if I'm a financial victim, if I'm just a financial victim right now, that's on me. Now, everything's not fair in this world, but it never will be, guys, and it never has been. For some reason, we think there was this perfect world at some point in history. This world ain't never been perfect. It's always been flawed since Adam and Eve. It's been flawed. Since Adam and Eve, it's been flawed. It will always be flawed. It will never be perfect. It will never be fair. But that's not going to stop me from getting my peace. I don't need it to be perfect. I don't need it to be fair. I just need an opportunity. That's all I need. Give me an opportunity and I'm Gucci. I'm good. Because I'm going to take that little opportunity and I'm going to keep ballooning it. I'm going to keep being a doer. I'm going to keep ballooning it. I'm going to keep being a doer. I don't care if I got $25 to invest. I'm going to put them $25 into something that's going to multiply it. Because that's where the behavior starts changing. I tell y'all that all the time. Stop worrying about, oh, golly, Richard, only got $50, only got $100. How's that going to build wealth? Again, how do you think a big oak tree starts? Big old beautiful oak trees that I got in the back of my yard. How do you think they started? As a little bit of what? A little seed, a little acorn seed. And then over the years, they grew. That's how your wealth is going to grow. You got to plant a small acorn seed and just keep watering that thing. Keep fertilizing that thing. Keep loving that thing. And one day it grows into a beautiful oak tree. That's it, guys. That's the process. Get your brokerage account open. Get down to the description box and click on that Moomoo link and open that Moomoo brokerage account. If you don't have one and you want to rock with me, use that one. Put $100 in there. Get yourself 10 free fractional shares of the Magnificent 7 stocks. That starts the journey right there. And don't get caught up in all this, oh golly, they asked me this, they asked me that. Do I really got to have my checking account linked to it? How in the world else you going to get money in there, guys, unless you link your checking account to it? I mean, some of these questions I get, and I get it, guys, we're just starting out, but come on. You got to get money in the account. How do you get money into your brokerage account? I don't care what brokerage account you open. How do you get money in it unless you link it to your checking account at your bank? How do you get money in there? Again, we just got to get out of our way. We just got to get out the way. Trust the process. I keep telling y'all, just trust the process. Why in the world would you be listening to me on YouTube if you're not going to trust the information I give you? If you're not going to trust the information I give you, why watch? Why in the world would I get on here every day and tell people about a brokerage app I use if it's not legit? I mean, why would I do that every day? I mean, it don't make no sense. I wouldn't do that every day. I wouldn't tell you to do something that I'm not doing. Guys, we got to get out of our own way. But this is what we do. This is what we do. Oh, golly, why does Moomoo need my social security number? Guys, any brokerage app you open, from your Vanguards to your BlackRock, all the way down to your Moomoos, they're going to get your social security number. You do know that, right? You do know they got to report any gains or losses via 1099 to the IRS. How you think they're going to report them? Okay, let's move on, man. Let's move on. Let's talk about the stock market last week and some opportunities. Let's come up with some solutions, and then we're going to get out of here. And while you're in the chat, guys, before you get out of here, lock it in with a thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up button for me before you get out the chat. I know some of y'all are in and out, and that's okay, but lock it in with a thumbs up if you appreciate the information. Lock it in with a thumbs up right now. Just hit the thumbs up button for me while we get to the last piece of this, and then we're going to close this thing out for Saturday morning. Hit that thumbs up button for me if you don't mind. Thank you. Dow closes at record high above 40,000 points. Cinch a 5-week winning streak. Man. Oh, I meant to say clinch a 5-week winning streak. Wow. The Dow closed Friday above the key 40,000 level for the first time in history. And y'all around here talking about, oh, when the crash coming? Where's the crash? 40,000 level for the first time in the history of the Dow. I don't know when the crash is coming, but right now it ain't crashing. It ain't crashing right now. That's why I've been telling y'all, get yourself in the market. Get in the market. You've missed growth. While you sitting on the sideline trying to time the market, you've missed it. Get your butt in the market. You missed so much growth since January 1st. Somebody tell me what was the Dow trading at on January 1st, 2024. Anybody in the chat can tell me what the Dow was trading at on January 1, 2024. I'm just trying to prove a point here. The Dow closed Friday above 40,000 level for the first time in history, a day after hitting that benchmark in the previous trading session. It actually closed at over 40,000. Somebody in the chat said 35,000. So you mean to tell me you had 5,000 worth of upside, 5,000 points worth of upside had you just been in the market consistently? Golly, man. Okay, let's go. The 30 stock average rose 134.21 points or 0.34 to 40,003.59. The S&P inched up 6.17 points or 0.12 and closed at 53. Again, guys, all-time highs. What was the S&P in January? Probably what, 5,000? Something like that in January of 24. It was probably about 5,000, the S&P. Now it's over 53. Remember at the beginning of the year, I told y'all S&P was going to get to 5,500 points this year. Guess what? It's on its way. And we ain't even 6 months through the year. And the Fed ain't even reduced rates yet. And it's at 53. I told y'all, My opinion was it was going to go north of 5,500 points this year. And I'm telling you, man, on the backswing of the year, when the Fed start reducing them rates, we got a good shot of getting there. But again, you need to be in the market. Instead of all this talking, oh, I can't sign in. Oh, why do they need my social? And out of the market, ain't doing nothing but sitting there, not building any wealth. Excuses after excuse after excuse after excuse. Wow. So now you got the S&P up over 5,300 points. Closed at 5,303. Killer. All-time highs, guys. These are all-time highs. Then you had the NASDAQ up 12.35 points or 0.07 and closed at 16,685. All just killing it. And we ain't even got rates reduced yet. What do you think is going to happen when them rates come down? I think they go higher. My recommendation, get yourself in the market. If you're not sure what to do when you get in the market, send me an email and I'll send you my wealth transfer blueprint where I talk about my 3 big boy paper assets that I'm buying over the next 10 years to double my net worth. I'll send you that video. I'll also send you a video to show you how to use the Moomoo app. If you open a Moomoo account, you put $100 in it, you're going to get those 10 free fractional shares of the Magnificent Seven, and I'll send you those 2 videos. All you got to do is email me. Better yet, go down to the description box, click on my Instagram link, Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor, and follow me on Instagram and send me a DM. I'll send it to you that way, or I'll email it to you. Guys, I'll share my information. You don't have to follow it verbatim, but if you're new and you're trying to get your feet wet and you need some help, email me. But when I send it to you, just copy the plan. Okay? That's all I ask. Just copy the plan or pick and choose what you want to copy and then get started. Don't send me 15 more emails about no, I'm not going to answer them. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not going to answer them. I'm sending you the blueprint. You can take a look at the blueprint and copy it. That's what I'm using. I'm not a stock analyst. I don't do charts and graphs. I'm not going to go look up every stock that you want me to go. I'm not doing that. That's not what I do. You can go do that. You can go on the $10 trillion research lab and do that. My job is to give you information and then you need to execute. Or why you ask for the information. If you're not going to take my advice and execute, why ask for it? I'm not going to give you the information and then prove to you the information should be used by you. I mean, come on, guys. We got to stop this. I'm not going to prove and justify information that you asked for, right? Just execute. Shares of Walmart and Caterpillar both trading 1% higher. We talked about Walmart yesterday. Matter of fact, I think we talked about Walmart yesterday, or it was either Thursday that we talked about Walmart. It might have been yesterday, but Walmart is killing it. They beat earnings expectations. They're killing it. And they got a new customer. They got a new customer at Walmart now. They got affluent customers now. And they said those affluent customers help them beat market expectations. They got a new affluent customer coming in. Not just middle class and lower income folks no more. They got an affluent customer now. That's what Walmart said. I don't know. I don't know how that'll play out. So both Walmart and Caterpillar, both trading 1% higher, led the Dow. Chubb and Valero Energy, respectively, up more than 3% and 4% were the biggest gainers in the S&P yesterday. All these are little tidbits, guys. All these are little breadcrumbs. All you got to do is go research these companies. And how do you research them? Just go to the $10 trillion research lab and punch them in. And then look at the history. See, we got to start learning how to do this stuff. You ain't got to be no expert to do that. You got to be an expert. Here's the test. Do I use Walmart? Do I buy groceries from Walmart? Do I buy whatever I buy? Do I buy it from Walmart? Do I like Walmart? Then why not be an owner? That's the way I look at it. If I'm going to go to a retailer, if I'm going to go to a service provider, and I'm going to spend my money with them, why wouldn't I buy their stock and become an owner? That's the way I look at it. I don't know, maybe y'all look at it differently, but I look at it that way. Stocks finished the week strong, with the Dow up 1.2% to notch its fifth straight weekly gain. The S&P and NASDAQ climbed 1.5% and 2.1% week to date, clinching their longest winning streak since February. I keep telling y'all guys, this stock market thing is going to continue to explode. My opinion, not your financial advisor, can't tell you what to do. I'm just telling you, it's going to continue to explode. That's my opinion. It's going to continue to explode. I'm going to continue to double down on it and continue buying assets every single day the market's open in order to get myself in a position where I'm in the market 365 days a year, so I don't have to do too much time in the market. I do a little bit of time in the market with two of my favorite big boy blue chip individual stocks right now. That's Tesla and Nvidia. Those are the only two things that I tend to time the market a little bit. But 95% of the money that I put in the stock market is not timed. It's dollar cost average every single month, every single day, and I just keep doing that. 95% of the money that I put in. So I'm not one of these guys that sit on the sideline and try to time. I time 5% of the money that I put in because I know what I'm doing, right? But I don't teach people to do that. I don't recommend people do that. I do it because I've been doing it for 30 years, right? I recommend you dollar cost average in every single month with a certain amount of money and just do that religiously for the next 10 years. Put your head down, earn, keep what you earn, and invest. If you do that, guys, you're gonna win, in my opinion. You're gonna win. This week's ascent has helped propel the three indexes into positive territory for the second quarter, despite a tough start. The tough start was April. April was tough because momentum, because optimism, FOMO was all taken out of the market. It was a rough April. But guess what? May, that thing has turned around again. We just got that CPI inflation report for April. It was good news. We got a good jobs report for April. That was good news. And now the tide is starting to turn back to the market again. They're fleeing U.S. treasuries and coming back to the market again. That's why you see the market doing what it's doing. And right now, the second quarter is starting to look pretty close to the first quarter, right? First quarter was a killer. The S&P and NASDAQ are now each up more than 11% in 2024. Well, Richard, where are you going to get a 10% from? Where do you get that from? I told y'all the S&P 500. Just backed it up. It's up 11%. It's up 11% year to date. Both the NASDAQ and the S&P. While the Dow has climbed more than 6% this year. So the Dow is up 6% year to date. S&P, NASDAQ up 11. Who wouldn't take that? I'd take them odds. Give me 11% for the next 10 years. I'm wonderful. I will achieve all the financial goals I need to achieve. If I can get me a 10% over an average of 10% over the next 10 years, that's all I need. That's why I stay in the S&P 500. That's why I stay in the tech sector through my tech ETF. Because of this right here. I keep telling y'all, January 1, if you'd have been involved, if you'd have got yourself in and stayed in, you'd be up 11% in your S&P 500 ETF right now. That's my opinion. I'm no expert. You go do your own research, but in my S&P 500 ETF, I'm up. I'm up. While concerns over the durability of the current rally have been voiced by some investors, Tom Henlon believes that the combination of economic growth and decelerating inflation is a perfect catalyst. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom. I couldn't have said it better myself, Tom. Thank you. I agree 100%. I agree. Tom believes that the combination of economic growth and decelerating inflation is the perfect catalyst. I keep telling y'all, man, this S&P 500, in my opinion, is going to be north of 5,500 points here soon. It might get to 6,000 points this year. It might. It might. It might. That's a fairly optimistic setup for at least the near future in 2024. Now, of course, you got other analysts out there that believe something different, and that's okay, right? That's okay. That's okay. So there you go, man. That's last week in a nutshell, right? That's last week in a nutshell. You had the Dow go over 40,000 points for the first time ever. Ever. That is crazy. Let's talk a little bit about the housing market, and then we're gonna shut this thing down. Let's talk a little bit about the housing market for a few minutes, and then we're gonna get out of here. Housing has a problem bigger than interest rates. That's the headline. Housing has a bigger problem than interest rates. I tell you, man, it's crazy. It is crazy. The U.S. housing market remains perhaps the weakest link in the economy. Surprise success story as high mortgage rates and a dearth of new construction shut out new buyers and pin current owners in their properties. For nearly a year, the Federal Reserve has kept its base lending rate pegged at the highest level in 2 decades. Housing is hurting. And the central bank has warned investors that elevated inflation is likely to mean that interest rates remain higher for longer as the economy continues to outperform forecasts. That's kept the benchmark 10-year Treasury note yields tightly correlated to home lending costs, well north of 4%, and conforming 30-year mortgages pushing past 7% for the past 2 weeks. A lack of progress on reducing inflation pushed long-term interest rates higher in the first quarter, and this is acting as a drag on builder sentiment. Chief economist at the National Association of Home Builders. Now, this comes from the National Association of Home Builders. See, they're telling you why builders are apprehensive and are not building a lot. That's what they're telling you here. It's important. A lack of progress on reducing inflation pushed long-term interest rates higher in the first quarter. And this is acting as a drag on home builders. And this comes from the National Association of Home Builders. This is not just some hick out here talking. This comes from the National Association of Home Builders. So high interest rates are putting a drag. It's slowing down new construction. No home builder wants to have their neck on the line, right? Because they know the demand isn't there. The last leg in the inflation fight is to reduce shelter inflation. And this can only occur if builders are able to construct more attainable, affordable housing. Dietz added in his report that showed home builder confidence falling to the lowest levels of the year this month. So builders are basically saying, listen, we're not going to be building these, we can't even build it affordably. Rates are too high, so people can't afford it. Meanwhile, data from the Commerce Department on May 16 showed April housing starts rebounded modestly from their March numbers, still on pace to sharply miss analysts' year-end forecast for gains. So now the analysts are coming out and saying, we expected so many new construction homes. We're not going to get to that number. We're not going to get there. Fewer homes and higher rates. Single-family home construction, meanwhile, fell 0.3% despite huge demand for new properties in a market where sellers are reluctant to refinance their current mortgages at higher rates. The Mortgage Bankers Association reported on May 15th that the average 30-year fixed rate slipped 10 basis points to 7.08%. That's partly thanks to a softer than expected April inflation reading that triggered a rally in Treasury bonds and lower corresponding yields. See, when Treasury bonds go down, since they're tied to 30-year fixed rate mortgage rates, the 10-year Treasury bond, when it goes down, typically mortgage rates follow. When the Treasury bond goes up, the 10-year Treasury bond goes up, normally 30-year fixed rate mortgages rates follow. The decline in rates led to a small boost to refinance applications. However, the overall level of refinance activity remains low. While the downward move in rates benefits prospective home buyers, mortgage rates are still much higher than they were a year ago, while for sale inventory remains tight. Last month, data from the Consensus Bureau showed that 728,000 housing units went up for sale in the first quarter, well below pre-pandemic high of nearly 1.150. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys, when we talk about the housing market, right? You had 728,000 houses went up for sale last month. Well, last month, they came out with the figures. 728,000 housing units went up for sale in the first quarter. Let me correct that. That's the first quarter. But it's well below what it was doing prior to the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, it did 1.15 million. So that just goes to show you guys, the housing market is really, really slowing down, and it's causing some problems, right? Because there are a lot of people in our country that depend on the housing market to make their living. Meanwhile, suggests current homeowners are paying a national average mortgage rate of just under 4%. That level has led to around 1.3 million fewer homes for sale during the Fed's rate rising period between 2022 and 2023. See, a lot of people got these 4% or less. They don't want to give them up, and I can't blame them. I can't blame them at all. Relief in the form of lower Treasury yields may also come at the expense of both a robust labor market and solid consumer spending, both of which showed signs of fatigue headed into the spring months. That's also caused a notable downtick in consumer confidence, with the University of Michigan's benchmark sentiment survey hitting a 6-month low in May, and the Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index falling into near 2-year low in April. So they go out and they interview a bunch of consumers, and a bunch of consumers are not feeling good about what's going on. That's basically what they're telling you there. A lot of consumers are not feeling good about what's going on. Not feeling good at all. The combination of rebounding mortgage rates since the start of the year and recent declines in consumer confidence are likely starting to take a toll. Although we expect mortgage rates to drop back significantly across the later spring and summer, we think this will be accompanied by a marked deterioration in the labor market. That would be bad news for housing demand, even if rates retreat. So guys, here's the thing, man. You got to understand our economy is in a situation where some parts of the economy are doing well, some parts of the economy are doing bad. Right now, the housing market is not doing that well. And that's part of our overall economy. That's one reason why when you look at inflation, the thing that's really keeping inflation higher is shelter cost. Shelter cost is keeping inflation higher because it keeps going up. So, and our CPI inflation report is basically 1/3 of it is housing cost, or shelter costs. So yeah, you got parts of the economy that are robust and doing well. You got parts that are not doing well. The key though is if anything happens to the labor market, all bets are off. All bets are off. Right now, the labor market is holding up. It's holding up, and we need that to continue to hold up, or it could be catastrophic, right? Well, guys, I certainly appreciate y'all's attention this morning. Hopefully you got some information here that you can utilize to help you get to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. The whole intent here is to provide you information, real life information that can help you plan. It can help you execute better, become a better executor. Because that's really what we got to do here, guys. We got to become a better executor, right? We got to be able to take information and then be decisive with that information. We got to be able to take that information and then boom, turn it into execution. If you're just starting out and you're saying to yourself, hey man, I'm not happy where I'm at. Yeah, okay, I got a decent salary. I'm working for somebody, got a decent salary. I may or may not own my own home. Maybe I got a little equity in it if I do own the home, right? Maybe I'm not living paycheck to paycheck, but golly, I'm 40 years old, I'm 45, I'm 50, and I look at my net worth, I look at my real assets that generate income, and I'm not where I want to be. If you're a 20-year-old and you're just starting out and you're saying, you know something, shoot, man, in 20 years, I want to be done. In 10 years, I want to be done. It starts right now. The first step is to start buying assets. I don't care how small the asset is. If I got $100, I should start buying assets. And then the goal is I continue to level up my asset purchases. If I know I want $10,000 a month in passive income at some point down the road, I got to do the rule of 200. I got to say, well, I'm going to take that $10,000 per month that I'm going to need and I'm going to times it by 200. That will tell me I need $2 million in order to generate $10,000 a month in income, passive income. That's where it starts, guys. You have to take yourself through that exercise and not be intimidated by it. If I want $5,000 a month in passive income coming in from my investments, how much do I need in investments? I got to use the rule of 200. I take 200, I times it by 5,000. I need $1 million in assets. And that $1 million in assets at a 6% rate of return will generate $60,000 a year for me. I divide that by 12. There's my $5,000. So if I'm 20, I'm 30, I'm 40, I'm 50, now that I know through the rule of 200 what I need, now I can start taking my income from my primary income, from my side hustles, and I start pouring it into assets. Like paper assets, the stock market, like real estate for income, and like businesses. Those are the big three. And you just have to do that month after month, year after year, decade after decade. The more money I put into assets, the faster I get there. If I only have $100 to put in, compared to someone that's putting in $10,000, of course, the person that's putting in $10,000 a month is going to get there faster than me because I'm putting in 100. If I'm putting in 100 and someone's putting in 1,000, they're going to get there faster because they're putting in 1,000. So if you want to get there sooner, put more money in. That's how you get there sooner. You have to put more money in. That's the only way you get there sooner. But that's okay. It took me basically 25 years. And I don't regret it. I did it little by little, and then I just continued to ratchet it up. I didn't have a lot of money when I started. I started off with $150 every 2 weeks from my paycheck that I started investing in the stock market. And then I just kept learning and then kept increasing the number. Now today, I put in a lot of money every month because I know what the power of compounding effect of the stock market can do over a long period of time, because I've been in the stock market for a long period of time. So I know exactly what it can do. I don't have a doubt. I'm not a naysayer. I've actually done this for 30 years. So I'm not a naysayer. Everything that I've built, no one has given me anything. I did it through hard work, smart work, taking the money that I earned from my banking job, from my side hustles, and put it into real estate. I put it into the stock market. That's all I did. And I did that month after month, year after year, decade after decade. That's all I did. I didn't hit any home runs. Only singles, doubles, and the occasional triple. No home runs. But yet and still, I'm 56 years old, and my net worth is really good, and I'm getting ready to double it in the next 10 years. And I told you why. If you've been in the stream for any period of time, you know why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because I don't know how long I'm gonna live. I don't want to outlive my money. I don't want to be a burden on my children. I want to have more than enough money to take care of me and then leave them something when I leave this place, a financial something. I don't want to be a burden on my children. I don't want to be a burden on anybody. I want to have enough assets to take care of me till I leave this place. That's what drives me. At 56, I could quit. I could start right now and be like, shoot, man, I'm good. Let me kick back, to go take a cruise or something. I ain't done yet. I'm going to keep driving till I get where I want to get. And I recommend you do the same. I recommend you do the same. Solidify your future, man. Don't just live in the moment. Don't just live in the present. Think about the future. Do something today to change that. Well, appreciate you, man. I'm going to get on out of here. Again, guys, get down to that description box. Click on that Moomoo link. If you want to open up the Moomoo account today and get yourself up to 10 free fractional shares of the Magnificent 7 stocks, when you put $100 in your brokerage account, that's the qualifier. You got to put $100 in to get the 10 free fractional shares of the Magnificent 7. Then you can take that $100 and you can start investing it to build yourself some wealth. Moomoo is my preferred and primary brokerage app that I'm using to build my wealth over the next 10 years. Come join me. Come join me on that journey. Get down to the description box, click on that Moomoo link, get started today. Go get that free stock, go get that free money. Also, get over to my website, www.richardfain.net. It's the second link down in the description box of the video. Go check out my website. Go take a look at those fantastic digital products that I got. Everything from credit repair, credit restoration, improve the credit score, all the way to how to invest in the stock market through index funds, the drip investment strategy, all the way to mindset through the millionaire mindset digital product. We also got how to invest in real estate with little or no money down. We got also a digital product that will walk you through how to be a better money manager through a budget process, a financial budgeting process that we have. That's on there. We got 10 digital products, guys, and all of them are handpicked by me. They're wonderful. So if you're looking to change something in your financial life, get over to the website and check that out. Also, consider joining the paid mentorship group. We're having a fun time in the mentorship group. Matter of fact, when I get off this live stream, I'm going to get in there and see what's going on. I know people are active. It's a good group of folks in there. They're all supporting one another and pulling for one another. They're sharing tips and ideas and strategies. That's the reason I created it, just for that. And I'm in there right along with them, being a participant, sharing my information, giving them tips and nuggets, and trying to help them get to their financial freedom. That's my primary way of mentoring, guys, through that mentorship club. So if you want to be mentored by me, get down to the description box, click on the website link, and sign up for the mentorship club. Last thing, get down to the description box. Make sure you click on that Instagram link, Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor Instagram page. Trying to get that thing up. So if y'all can help me out with that, I appreciate it. So that's it for me, man. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. I'm going to put some more content out this afternoon, so be on the lookout for that. Support your boy. Make sure you watch that video this afternoon if you don't mind. Trying to get these edited videos back up and going again since I started these live streams. YouTube has been a little funny with me on the other videos. They'll do well on the live stream videos. They don't want to really push the other videos. So y'all help me out. Get in there and watch that video this afternoon when I put it up. You support me, I support you. That's the way we rock and roll around here, right? Thoughts become things. Oh, make sure you hit that thumbs up too before you get out of here. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up before you click out of here, guys. Hit that thumbs up for me. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Peace.